I thought I'd stand on the chair for a bit. The character in tonight's final production is Judge Edward Kane. I don't want to lump all judges into Kane's fraternity, but in this case I can't help but think, how can an educated man be so dumb? He has a proclivity for women between the ages of 24 and 28. I don't have an issue with that. They're of consenting age. What bothers me more is a man in his early 50s and beyond should have the ability to read subtext, analyze intentions, and form hypotheticals. And the simple fact that Kane struggled with this showed he's the type who makes eye contact when he lies. That makes him more dangerous than a monster. At least monsters don't hide behind gavels. Or at least, I hope not. I remember 14-year-old Zariah sitting outside Kane's courtroom with evidence in her hands, medical files, photos asking or her. A coach had been accused of inappropriate behavior with her. The DA pushed for full prosecution. Zariah's parents begged for justice, but Kane approved a plea deal. No trial, no registry, just community service. In his words, "We can't destroy a young man's future over a mistake." Zariah's parents yelled at the Judge Kane for her to no avail. I wonder, when I pull the plug on his life, will he say the same? Ask me not to destroy his future over a mistake? Zariah attempted suicide 3 weeks later. Her mother found her with a bottle of pills and a note that read, "No one listened." Well, sweetheart, I did. At the time, I worked in the courthouse. Nothing fancy. I cleaned up after the powerful, picked up crumpled letters, tossed aside by Kane's staff. One day, I found something, buried in trash, under food wrappers and memos. It was a copy of the original sentencing recommendation, the one that would have held that coach accountable. The one Kane never signed. Tonight, Kane came home, poured a glass of wine, and didn't even notice I'd turned his study into a mock courtroom. When he sat down, I stepped in. I explained why I was there. I handed him the paper, the harsher sentence he refused to sign. I gave him a pen and told him to do what he should have done years ago. He scribbled his name faster than I expected. I told him to change into his judge's robe. Clarified I didn't want to see his old saggy body, just the outfit. After all, when I shut down his brain, I planned to go enjoy dinner. I tied him to the chair and told him I do worry sometimes that my hands might sweat, so much so I might lose my grip. So for this ending, I might have to return to my earlier kills where I showed less restraint. At this point, I put a noose around his neck. I played his voice from a recorder. "We can't destroy a young man's future over a mistake." Then came the second tape, Zariah's mother screaming. The judge's eyes go wide in shock. He puts his head down and starts to cry and plead. I told him the rope around his neck wasn't a threat. It was a feeling, something heavy, like what he left on Zariah. "This is the final page of your story," I said, "and no one will listen." I pulled the rope and he started to yell, a painful, pleading sound. Well, I want to thank you all for attending tonight. I had a killer of a time. As I made my way out of the building, I couldn't help but think to myself, this was a 3-hour production that felt like I was there for only 30 minutes. Goes to show how much I enjoy taking retribution on those who've wronged others. And trust me, I have a lot more.